The school committee will continue budget work this week. And are you considering a career in insurance? A local training center will soon offer courses to help. And we find out what's happening in the town manager's office with town manager Tom Lynch. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, March 14th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mantle. The Barnstable School Committee is reviewing the district's policy on renting out the Performing Arts Center to private groups. Interim Superintendent of Schools Bill Butler says the committee will soon vote on a slight change to the policy.
First reading of a revision to the school committee policy on community use of school facilities. That's an issue that was discussed at the last school committee meeting. It was precipitated to some extent by the issue of the Don McLean concert that was scheduled for April and has since been canceled. And I think the committee is generally satisfied with its policy, but I think they'd like to delegate authority to approve commercial uses to the superintendent. Right now that authority lies with the school committee, and it's difficult to get requests before the school committee given that it only meets once a month.
Indeed.
So I think they'll make that change, and this will be a first reading, so they won't take action Wednesday, but if they're satisfied, then we'll bring it back in the April meeting.
Sure. The school committee will also continue work on the FY17 budget this week. Butler talks about some of the changes in next year's budget.
Of program enhancements, we're recommending $50,000 be added to our prevention maintenance budget. That budget is underfunded by about $350,000 right now. The rule of thumb is that you should be spending about $1 per square foot on preventive maintenance, and we have 1 million square feet.
Wow. Okay.
in the school district, so we need to increase that. We're also adding about $24,000 to our high school textbook replacement program. We're trying to increase our textbook replacement rate of textbook replacement. We've got some old 1990s books that we need to replace. And then the big item is $230,000 for a K-5 elementary reading program. And the school committee had some questions about that, which we'll try to address Wednesday night. But part of the reason for requesting that is that we really need to increase consistency among the elementary schools in terms of the reading levels. And what's happening now is kids are winding up at grade 4, and their reading levels are so wide, very so widely that it's really stretching the capacity of teachers at grade 4 to differentiate.
The school committee meets this Wednesday night at 7 in the town hall hearing room. Cape Cod Community College's Center for Corporate and Professional Education will soon offer courses for individuals who want to enter the insurance industry. Director Chammy Jacobson says the classes will be geared towards entry-level positions.
What it is the insurance agencies around the Cape and in the region have we've gotten everyone together, and we've formed an advisory group, and we're working on entry-level positions within the insurance agency, getting trained for those positions. It's a wonderful program. It's a wonderful model for us to replicate in other industries as well, and we're looking to kick that off in June. Dates are still tentative, but it will be kicking off right in the beginning of June.
Jacobson says working in insurance can be a very rewarding career.
Industry, one thing we've all learned, and it's been eye-opening for all of us, is that it can be a very lucrative position. It can be a great position to advance and even go back to school with in your career. So it's a wonderful opportunity for individuals.
And you can learn more about the new program by visiting capecod.edu. Town officials will continue work on the FY17 budget. To get an update, Channel 18's Sarah Colvin talks with Town Manager Tom Lynch.
Time means budget time, as always, and I know that we're anticipating the arrival of the budget and the capital improvement plan book this week.
Yeah, as we've said on past Barnstable this morning shows, we have been working very hard on the capital improvement plan. Finished that last week. Got a draft report back from the printer. It's at the printer now. And then once we get copies of that, we have them first for the town council members, let them see it. And then we'll begin talking to the general public about what the items are that are on there. And that'll come in for a first reading on Thursday, March 24th, when they have their the next town council meeting. So we're, I think we've done a good job of balancing the projects that we need, trying to look at those that we had done some studies and funding for before, look at those that might be a one-time thing that we needed to fix, and looking at public safety. One thing I added this year is I put in a project rationale sheet where there's one page that talks about basically why we made the choices that we made. So sometimes we have to go through individually and look at that, but we looked at health and safety reasons and high usage and things that are in some of the scoring that's done by our independent groups that look at that. So that'd be an extra kind of tool for the councilors and also for the public to use if they want to know why we might have chosen one project over another. And of course, the operating budget is, that's going to be about, $180 million budget this year. So in addition to spending your whole year making sure that we're implementing the budget properly, we need to, put this year's budget together. So we look at what everybody wants, and we look at what we need. We're constantly examining whether the service we're delivering and the service delivery we're giving is matching the dollar and investment that we're making into that project. We'll be looking again at public safety and DPW, our big departments, as to making sure that they've got the resources that they need. An issue before some of the committees has been things like aquaculture and things like that we're taking a more close look at to see if there are ways that we can, boost that industry. And then there'll be little things, like one thing that I talked about last week with Mark Milne and DPW is we also have operating capital dollars within, say, the DPW or all the other budgets actually. And one thing I want to do is we bought the old stone antiques. We've done a little bit of work down there in terms of a few trees planted, some fencing, some grass, but that's the place where you wouldn't bond for a project like that as we would under the capital improvement plan, but putting, say, $25,000 on that to be sure that we're either doing irrigation, a little walkway, something that begins to pick that up, so people see that we're making improvements there, and will be the sort of thing we'll have discussions about whether we add or not. So. Sure,
and that'll be a nice little spot once it's done.
Yeah, and we look at recurring or one-time expenses again, and always the funding source. There are some positions or projects that get funded because they're either supported by fees or they're within an enterprise account, and they have the revenues where you can put that in. So lots of choices to be made, and we've got lots of charts and numbers that we're looking at right now. So
sure. And so when are you hoping to wrap up the operating budget?
Well, it'll be a few more weeks on that before. I think we need to get it before the council. Not until
we'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.